Hello, everyone. So I'm immediately wondering if you can hear my voice. So if someone can let me know if you can read me loud and clear. How you doing, Jay? How you doing, Joe? 5 by 5. Is that? Yes, we can hear you. Hallelujah. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So I got to be right up front with you. This is weird. This is a new experience for me, and I'm out of my comfort zone. And I'm talking to myself right now. I can see myself on the screen, and so it's hard for me to read everyone's facial expressions when you can't see them at all. Other things that are going to handicap me is my eyes are going bad, and I gotta squint to see the comments. And if you can bear with me on that, I'll do my best. But I am just thrilled with the channel and with you guys and all the support and coming on board here on late notice. The plan was, when I got approved to do live streams, and I never thought I would do one because, like I said, it's out of my comfort zone. But we put some thought into it, and I came up with a background and just staged some stuff just to make it somewhat entertaining. So it's 7:30 here in Ohio, and it starts getting dark now around 8. I thought this could be like a half-hour thing, unless some of you guys are interested in this, and we can stick around a little bit longer, and we'll see how this goes. Sunday night, is a pretty good night for a live stream, and the only thing, like I watch The Walking Dead in the wintertime, and that's on Sunday night, and then that's pretty much it. So maybe if we can find an area that we fit, if we don't, go into overkill and stuff, I would be happy to keep doing this here. So I'm going to, let me look over here and see some names. There's a lot of you guys. Listen, I don't know who you are, but you get a sense for people with the comments and the level of interest in what we share together. And I feel like I know some of you guys, and seeing your names, mean a lot, because right now I feel like I'm out on a limb. I'm sitting here in the middle of my yard talking into a computer screen, and I don't know if anyone's going to notice, call the people in the white coats to come get me here. But I immediately see Michael from North Gray Firewood Company. Michael, I think you're dynamite. I think what you got going on out there in Maine, jeez, I could never keep up with that volume. Mark, Ohio Strong, definitely. Joe's Premium Firewood. Listen, I think you are a trailblazer in this whole community. And I am, I've had some good interaction with you too, and it means a lot, because I think that you're a trailblazer for us. Let's see, Daniel Atkins. So Daniel, Dan, I've gotten to know him, and we talk offline, and I've asked him to be a mod for me, and he graciously accepted. What a nice guy. He's such a gracious person. He's always got positive comments, and I'm just really excited to get to know him, and he's clear on the other side of the country. Backyard 40, and so Dan, what can I say? You're top shelf, and you're really making this community what it is, and I'm glad to be associated with you. Let's see, ALL Firewood. You've always been positive on there. And Jason E, I think, do I have a question from you that I'm going to be reading off? Yes, I do. And when I asked Dan to be my moderator, and I'm no dummy here, guys. I get onto the forums, with chainsaws and firewood, and I know that it can get kind of salty. But there really hasn't been that kind of culture here at Ohio Woodburner with our channel. Your guys' comments have been professional. They've been polite and friendly, and it's really added to the channel. I spoke with one guy, and he said that he lets his young son watch these videos, and he says he feels safe because there's no cussing or inappropriate comments, and you're reading the comments and all. Everything is real professional. So I am proud to have this channel and to be associated with you guys. So I don't know what I'm doing. So to keep things going here, I wrote a list out of questions that I've fielded over the months that this channel has been live. And I brought some props along that I can keep the conversation going. And I'll have the first Dr. Pepper here. I was told to have a beverage with me because your mouth gets dry with all this talking. So I'm going to, I'll keep looking here. If you guys have a question, go ahead and put it in there. You know what else I'd like to, what I like is knowing where you guys are from. If you throw your hometown or your state on there, that'd be really cool. But I'll go right into Jason E. He wrote me a question today. He wrote me 2 questions. He wants to know, do I get many calls from people who think that I sell wood burners? And I have gotten a few, okay? And then that gets into Jason with my company name. And I haven't really explained Ohio Woodburner to you guys. So I have been told, I went to go see a business consultant. It was a free service that the state of Ohio has. It's called the Ohio Small Business Development Center. They're really good. It's at Youngstown State. And he says, I don't like your company name, Joe. He says, to me, it sounds like you sell wood burners. And I agree. But, they always say when you pick a company name, if you're going to name it after yourself, that's one thing. But you want to try and future-proof your company name. So you don't want to say Elm Street Firewood, or, Cortland, Ohio Firewood, because that kind of pigeonholes you into that. If you do grow and expand, you're going to have to change the name of your company. Ohio Woodburner sounds like I'm a stove shop, and I'm not. All I do is sell firewood. But this is where the name came from. I get bored in the wintertime, and when I had a real job over in Cleveland, in the wintertime, there's nothing to do but sit in the house, and I got bored. So I started blogging. I started a blog about chainsaws, and that was something that was just fun. I loved all the chainsaws. I started collecting them, and I didn't know what to name my blog. And I got started in firewood because of my outdoor wood boiler, OWB, okay, which is the industry term for these outdoor wood furnaces. So I have a Hardy H2, which I've heard recently has gone out of business. So I don't know what we're going to do there with parts for them, because they still need parts. But I named my company, or I named my blog Ohio Woodburner, for OWB. I thought I would play off of the initials of that industry. So I bought my domain after I did my blog through Google Blogspot, and it's still out there. If you did Ohio Woodburner, OWB.blogspot, I think is the name of it, you might be able to find it. But I bought my own domain off of GoDaddy for like $10 a year. I bought ohiowoodburner.com, and I thought I would just put all my content from my blog onto my website. And that website sat there for a while. It wasn't until I started getting into this idea of selling value-added firewood. One of the things that I knew I needed to have to sell firewood the way that I felt like it could be sold was I got to have a website. Well, I already had one, with OWB for Ohio Woodburner. So I just went ahead and repurposed my blog for my company name and then, my company website. So that is how I sell firewood, is through my website. And I've promised you guys there's going to be some videos coming down the road about websites. And I think I got some ideas that'll be really cool for you, and maybe even some good opportunities. If you are interested, or if you haven't thought about doing a website and getting one, I'm telling you to get one, because it's a lot easier than you think. It took me all winter, but I just sat on my couch watching television. I would just tinker around with it and, constructing the page, and it came out okay. I mean, I think a real, computer nerd, would probably looks at it and, thinks that it's Mickey Mouse, but hey, it's doing me good, because that's how I'm getting all my business. Up until last month, that's something I'll share with you on another date too. My advertising budget has been zero. I have put zero money into advertising. It's all been from online with social media, Facebook, Instagram, and this website. So that is where OWB comes from. And yes, I do get wood burner calls, but to me, that's a sales opportunity, because anyone that's got a wood burner, they gotta do firewood, right? So Jason E, thank you. He asked the second question. If I had to buy a new dump trailer, is there anything that I would change from the one that you currently have? That should be another video about dump trailers. So I have a Griffin 10-foot dump. Okay. I think it is, and you can see it here in the background. There she is. It is an excellently built dump trailer. The welds are overall very good. There are some things that just kind of annoy me. It is built the right way. If you're into dump trailers, there's 3-piece construction, there's 4-piece, and you want the 3-piece construction with that weld that goes up through the center of the floor. It's built like that. It's got the center spine. Okay. It's got the cheaper axles. It doesn't have the Dexter axles, but I don't put a lot of weight into it. Here's the deal with this. The paint is just garbage, And it never dawned on me. You just don't think of this kind of stuff. It's a metal box. What else is it going to do but rust, especially here in Ohio? I had this trailer on the road 6 times on winter roads, and it looked like it had no paint on it at all. The paint is just garbage. On top of the paint being garbage, whoever painted it was lazy. It's got those D-rings inside of the bed. They never even picked the D-rings up, the spray paint behind them. If you pick the D-rings up, it was just bare steel. And that's just, if you were going to that length to build a beautiful trailer like that, why are you going to paint it Mickey Mouse, So that is what I would do differently. I would buy a trailer, even if it costs more money, that had better paint. And I don't understand the paint technology and stuff. I would accept the explanation that the salesperson has, but every time I look at that paint, it just kicks me in the gut, because I love that trailer, and it might be one of the most important pieces of equipment I have. It gets that much use, but it's brutal to look at. Let me look at some of these comments here. If there's anything going on here. Paul Janey, how you doing there, bud? I've been seeing your name on there, and I've really enjoyed having you around. Termite Dave, I have not heard of you before. I hope you subscribed. I really am seeing a lot of names here that I'm not recognizing. Fixing It Blind. Tyler Street, welcome. Kathy Kennedy, I've seen you around. Thank you. Dale Fisher, Alabama, how you doing? I used to live in Memphis, Dale. That's where I put on all my weight from eating all the barbecue down there. And Dale Hammonds, hi, I love your videos, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. This video, our channel started out of boredom too. My daughter had been sent home from college because of the apocalypse. And, we had this really neat, you can see the Yappa that's the elevator right there. It's behind the dump trailer. So I'm getting ready to process tomorrow's going to dump into the trailer. So we were bored, and so she was filming some videos with with her iPhone, and then she started tinkering around with edits, and it was kind of fun for her. So, and then the next thing you know, we hovered at 50, 60 subscribers, and man, just all of a sudden it was just a whirlwind, and we're up to 2,000. I remember we did the video not too long ago thanking everyone for 100 subscribers. We thought that was a big deal, and I turn around, we're up to 1,500, we're up to 2,000. So it tells me that maybe we are doing something right with the videos, and and there's so many good videos in firewood, and they all range from all of the stuff I think that is important to us with firewood. There's that emotional connection, which I think Back 40 really hits on. That one video he did, I think, on his 1 year, that tugged at the heartstrings. That was awesome. There's the video, the channels that show the daily grind, like Joe's Premium Firewood, like the Wood Guy, Michael's channel, North Gray Firewood Company. What I was, and it was the same way with the channel as it is with me getting into firewood. If I were to get into firewood and do it exactly the same way that everyone else is doing, I can't compete. I don't have a lot of machines. I don't have a lot of people. I had to do it differently. The channel that we made, I wanted to have it a firewood focus, but I wanted it to be on, the business side, and speak to those points. So I'm touched that you guys have appreciated it and, have showed the channel this much support. I'm reading some more here. Jay Wax, about the dump trailer. Obvious quality flaws in any product usually indicate presence of hidden quality falls also. Yeah, good point. Excuse me. So far I haven't found any. It hasn't broken. But yes, I agree with you. Hauling firewood's probably an easy lifestyle for it too, because, green oak is probably the heaviest I've ever carried in it, a quart of green oak. So what does that weigh? And the trailer's rated at 9990. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of trailer comments on here. Maybe I'll show you, maybe Wednesday, I'll do a video on the trailer. I'll show you what I've learned about dump trailers. And if I were to build a dump trailer, I think what would the features be on it, and what we can do to, I don't know. I'm at I went ahead and bought new tires for it. I bought the tarp rollback on it. It's going to need a new battery, and I do a yearly tune-up on it too. So, I'm putting money into it. I was close to trading it in on another one, but I don't know. I hate spending money. I get attached to stuff too. I have every chainsaw I've ever bought. I still own it. They're all sitting and collecting dust in the barn, but I still have them. I'm not a hoarder, but I get attached to machines and stuff. Okay. Another question. Joe's Premium Firewood. Can you do a video of your inventory? I can. The thing with my inventory is I got it spread out between 3 yards. And, all of the filming is really done at this yard, but that was mostly because of when me and my daughter could get together. The other thing that you've never seen are any of the other guys that hang out around the lot. The one driver, he don't want to be in any videos. And then the other one's a high school kid, and I don't want to have to, get parents' permission and stuff. It's just never been something that we've done. And then Joe also asked, am I ever going to get different colored t-shirts? And, here's another blind spot for me. That was just something I don't know anything about. And someone told me, he says, Joe, you need to get pink t-shirts and lime green and go with different stuff. So really all that I've put up for sale so far, and I just did it. And I didn't think anyone would want one. But man, it's just flattering to know that my t-shirts are in all these other states, and it really means a lot. So, you saw my video about the logo. I had these, but I sold them all. So I just kept wearing my old ones, and I would, sell the new ones. So, but we got the t-shirts. It's got this is what, the employees wear: family, friends, firewood. And it's got, our company logo. And I told you all about the logo with the watermark with Ohio's North Shore on it. So those are the new t-shirts that are on the website. And then, I got the stickers on there too. So, but will I be offering different colors? So I think I would like to, but do you buy all this stock in inventory and then no one buy them, and you got all these t-shirts? So, but then if I don't have them, no one's going to buy them. So let me think it over. But I like the way that you're thinking, and you're probably right. You would obviously know more about this than me. David thinks I need to stick with one color. It's part of my logo. Yeah. So, the logo on the truck over here, I think it looks awesome with the colors, that maroon and dark green, and then with the orange flame. I think it all works together great. But, on the shirts and stuff, I just go with green and tan. I think it just looks earthy, but it looks, I don't know. It just looks classy. I think it looks nice. Okay, next question. JW Stalker 1979. Have we seen him on here? He asked a question. He wants to know why I haven't bought a skid steer. And I would like to know why also. And I think that a lot of it is just the way I operate. I think in order for this business model to work, I got to minimize my equipment. And then, especially with me, it's just another machine with flat tires and a dead battery. That's another story. So I think we're getting close. And so stacking wood is important to me. I think that all firewood must be stacked in order for it to look good. Okay. There are some other technologies out there that are very appealing to me, like that. Has anyone seen that Posh Pack Fix? I think that looks cool. And that looks like something I might be able to get to work here. But like, I don't have forklift. Okay. So if I got a Posh Pack Fix, I would have to, that is skid steers. I would have to have a skid steer or a tractor with a front end loader on it. But I would want something small and compact. And I'd even thought maybe of just like a mini excavator with a thumb, where I would pick the log up, spin around, and set it down in front of the machine. So it doesn't even have to move. It just, spins on its axis. But, we're talking a lot of money. If you buy a used one, they can eat your lunch in no time. For getting them to work right. And to get something that's reliable, here's where we're getting into that economy of scale. So I've developed a system. Maybe I've read too much about the Egyptians building the pyramids, but I've been using some techniques on how to minimize muscle and use leverage and moving these logs down. And, and then the Yappa picks the logs up off the ground. But I think it's almost like buying the Yappa. Okay. Yes, that costs a lot of money. It's like $25,000. And I would have much rather have not spent that money and still just done a chainsaw and that super splitter right there. But in order for me to keep this lifestyle, I had to have a processor. And I think that we're going to get to that same thing too with the skid steer or some kind of a loader. Is even if it doesn't make total economic sense, I'm going to have one, because you're going to pull a muscle in your back or something. I fell just the other day with those logs. You can see the logs. Well, I guess you can't. They're behind my gray truck here. That's kind of a danger zone, and having that extra machine there would be much more much more productive. Okay, I'm assuming everyone can still hear me. This is just weird. So next question. Tractor Tech, who I love his channel, he asked if the Yappa has an 8-way knife, and it does. So there's not very many firewood processor owners out there that won't complain that they wish they had more splitting power. But I will say, I've never heard a Blockbuster owner say that. I think Blockbuster really makes a nice machine. You guys should check that out. And Michael's channel on North Gray Firewood Company, that Blockbuster, you never see that splitter getting hung up. But it is a little underpowered for the 8-way, but I can still get it to go. And when you do it long enough, you can tell when logs coming down the pike are going to be trouble. And I just sometimes just throw them out, and I'll hit them later with the super splitter. It just saves time. And I love running this machine here. This is the greatest machine ever made. Bill Goins, I think I saw him on here. He wanted to know, do I split logs on other people's property, like either with the super splitter, or do I take the Yappa? I haven't yet, and I don't know if I will. I had an offer about a month ago. We never even got to talking the money, but the guy wanted to know if I would be interested in coming to his place. And you think yes, but then you're thinking, you know what? My livelihood depends on that machine. And, you don't know what's going to happen pulling that thing down the road and possibly, damaging it at someone else's lot. So I politely told him no. And I also offered up too, though. I never just tell people no. I give them some ideas. I got a couple people up north that have smaller processors that may be interested in it, and I gave them those guys' numbers. So that's how I handled that. Okay, next question. What's the most important thing about starting a firewood business? What do you think it is? The most important thing, and I'm serious about this, guys, about starting a firewood business, and I wouldn't say just firewood business, any business. Holy cow, we're up to 66 viewers. I saw a little bit ago there was like 70 some. Really cool. I can't remember what our question was. What was the question, guys? Oh, what's the most important thing about starting a business? The most important thing is starting the business. All right. And I've seen some comments on my videos from you guys where you say, yeah, I'm gonna start selling firewood, but I want to get everything planned out and make sure everything's in place before I get started. And I think we all say that, and I said that too, because this isn't my first business idea, but it's the first one that's gotten started. Here's the most important thing, guys, is do it. All right, get it done. I delivered firewood to a restaurant the other day, and I had a piggyback where the guy also wanted a couple bundles, and he met me in the parking lot. He bought these bundles because he has this idea for a mobile pizza oven. It's just like that one I just delivered to in Cleveland. And oh my God, what is this? Joe's Firewood. Joe, geez, thanks so much. Okay, listen, I wasn't expecting anything like this, and that just means a lot because I know, especially people in firewood, I know how hard it is to make a buck. So, good heavens, thanks so much. That really means a lot, Joe. It does. Thanks a lot. So he told me his idea, and he has a pizza oven, but he's just been tinkering around with it. He wanted to get his recipe right. And it's my first super chat. Dan, thanks for being on here. You're keeping me on the straight and narrow. But he, with this pizza oven, he says he had an offer to do this party, but he turned him down because he says he just wasn't ready. I says, Bud, go for it. You'll never be ready. Go out and do that party and mess it up and figure it out, and you'll be much better for the next one. I still remember my first delivery I made. I didn't know what I was doing. I was probably the nervous, dumbest firewood guy you've ever seen, but I did it. All right. When that restaurant that I keep telling you about that buys a quart off of me every 11 days, called me up, I almost told them no because I wasn't ready to service them. I would have never been ready to service them. The reason I'm ready now is because I took it then. The answer is yes. When opportunity is knocking at the door, open the door. Okay? Guys, if you want to get started selling firewood, start selling firewood. Okay? That is my advice to you. It'll never happen if you're planning everything out, because what are you planning? You are planning a business in the way you think it should be. The way your business should be is what the market wants. And if I would have planned out my residential delivery thing and then a restaurant calls me and I tell them no, I told the restaurant yes, and look where I'm at now. Okay? Yeah. Real cool. Guys, we're up to 76 viewers. Thanks so much. Okay. Where am I from? I'm from the Mahoning Valley, Ohio. If you look at Ohio in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the second largest inland lake in our state. It's called Mosquito Lake because a lot of mosquitoes out here. It's an Indian word, though. But that was the Indian tribe that was out here. So the Mosquito Lake, the Mosquito Creek feeds the Mahoning River. So this whole region is known as the Mahoning Valley. What kind of saws do I have? I am in, well, they don't make them anymore, but I think the Dolmar is the greatest saw ever made. The anti-vibe on a Dolmar, that 7900 I have, it is just smooth. Love that saw. I have a Husqvarna 346 XP, and it is literally a laser beam. Such a fast idle response. And I got a couple older pull-ins and stuff. So, but the Dolmars, what a great saw. That's 7900. I have the air filtration upgrade on it, the HD filter. What a saw. How do I handle customer complaints? So I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had a customer complaint, and that's in 3 years. And it's going to happen. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have committed myself, and I absolutely mean this. I will do anything to satisfy the customer. Okay. Even if it means giving the wood away for free, I have committed to doing that. And when I committed to doing that, I'm not scared of getting customer complaints. Because, if you see that, you know who your customers are and the people that have called you and you just delivered and then your phone's ringing and then it's them, what's wrong? Because I am committed to 100% satisfaction, I'm not scared. Anyone could call me, and no matter what the problem is, I will fix it. That's how I handle customer complaints. But I haven't had any yet, thank God. Okay. Okay. So I wrote this one down. There was a couple on my branding video, with my truck and my company name and my logo and stuff. There was a number of comments on there that said, you don't need branding. You don't need a logo. I've been selling firewood for X years, and I sell every stick of firewood I get my hands on without a logo. Okay. So I 100% agree with you. But remember, what I am trying to do is not just sell firewood, because I think if we're all being honest with ourselves, it's easy to sell firewood. You put your sheet of paper on the bulletin board at the grocery store, and you get calls. And there's probably not a single person here that can't sell every single stick of firewood that they make. It's just the way it is. But what am I trying to do, though, is I am trying not just to sell firewood, but I'm trying to make a living selling firewood. And I'm also trying to make a living with minimal equipment, minimal labor, and that's the challenge. So if I'm trying to get that price per cord that I'm going after, I gotta play ball. So I have to make myself a legitimate business. I have to be branded. I have to have an image, and I know it's working. I told you the story about the one restaurant I was talking to. He was wanting all these numbers for how much my prices are, and I told him, "Look," I says, "I'm driving down the road. Can I, wait till I get out of my truck?" He goes, "Yeah." He says, "That's great." He says, "I tell you what, next when you get back to your office, give me a call." So he thought I had an office, and he thought I had an office because of my brand. I mean, it looks like we're a well-established company. We've been around for years, and we are big enough to where we can own a storefront somewhere. My office is my couch. My home office is the dining room table. But that is what branding does. It commands that image. And when you can command that image, it has a positive effect on your prices. I'm going to fix the light here. I don't know if that'll be any better or not. Hold on. Good enough. Okay, are there any questions on the chat? Let me see. Zach, how you doing, bud? Joe Ziegler, I see your name. You are a very nice man. You make you always have positive input. That Wood guy, I got to tell you what, I think Greg is awesome. Isn't he like the guy down the road that that you'd just be best friends with if he lived on your street? He's a hard worker, and he just doesn't stop. You got to tip your hat to people like him. And I really enjoy his channel. That comment, I don't know, on his live stream, I had texted him. I'm going to fix this light again. Hold on. Maybe I should have just left it alone. On his live stream, so I had a Dyna processor. It was a smaller one. His is the bigger, is the 14. That Dyna, it's got the in-feed, brings your log into the saw. That Dyna is set up where you can have your saw cutting the log, and you can accidentally engage the in-feed. So your saw can be in the cut, and you could advance the log, and it'll just snap that, bar or the saw motor and the bolts off. And I lived in fear of running that Dyna, of that happening. And when I sold it to these guys up the road, that was the first thing I told them. I was like, guys, you got to pay attention, because this is a $400 if you were to do that. So, the Yappa is not like that. The Yappa is joystick, and it's in this T slot, and you can only do one thing at a time. It's cut, push up, which raises the bar, and then advance. So, you can't do that on the Yappa. That's good. Dan, how could anyone ever complain about you? I don't understand that. I'm just zipping through the... Joe, take your trailer to downtown Columbus, Ohio for a paint job. It will be done. I don't know what to do with that trailer except admire its rust. Let me see if there's anything. Yeah, I can't remember who asked this. I forgot to write it down. Do I sell my offcuts? And I do, but they go to this one restaurant, So if I had a machine big enough to process the entire log length, I would have one offcut. I have to cut mine in half, and I try to do it strategically. I have a tape measure with a mark on it. So my first half of the log is going to be, perfect 16-inch cuts. The second half might have the offcut on it. So if the offcut is too long, well, If it's 16 inches, it's firewood. 15, it's firewood. 14, I just love them all to be the same length. So if they start getting too short, I put them into my woodshed. But if they're this long, I save them for that one restaurant for chunk wood. He likes chunk wood, and when I stack my truck, a half a cord is 5 rows of wood. So I'll put in 4 rows of wood, and then the 1 row is the chunk. And he's pleased with that. He's got multiple smokers, and that is why he wants the chunk wood. Okay, hold on here. Someone asked me, how did I get started making or selling firewood? And I got started because we bought this house off the bank. I would have never been able to buy a house this size had it not have been a train wreck. That the person building it walked away from it, and it sat vacant for 3 years out in the middle of a cornfield, and it was a wreck. And so we got into it real cheap. And when we bought this house, we didn't know it, but it's not on the gas line. So we had to heat with propane. And our first winter, everything was fine. The propane company came and filled the tank up. And then everything's fine. Our house is toasty warm. And then we got our first bill. Yeah. And so this was like in 2003, and propane was very expensive then. And we just froze to death because we couldn't afford to heat the house. We're telling the kids to do jumping jacks just to stay warm. So I started looking into different ways of heating the house, and everyone out here has those outdoor wood boilers. And I went ahead and bought one, and that's how I got started with firewood. Now, we would cut firewood as a little kid, and I still have that chainsaw too. I had the first chainsaw I've ever cut with when I was a little boy. It's an old Poulin top handle. So I started making firewood, and I made friends with some of these farmers, and these farmers, they hate trees, man. And they bulldoze these tree stands down, and they would call me, and I would cut them all up and haul them home. It was just fun. I enjoyed it. I loved everything about running saws, splitting wood, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the everything of firewood is just a blast. And, but that's how I got my start. Now, how did I get started selling it? That was an evolution from all of my experiences working for that auto parts retailer and then from that grocery store. The problem I had was the way you can buy firewood in this area. You can buy a cord of firewood already split for $150. You can usually find it for that much in the wintertime. But definitely, in fact, I just stacked wood this morning that I bought a cord for $150, and it's nice stuff. So I would, okay. I guess I'm losing my train of thought. The pressure's on me. Wood guy with my sawdust, I'd put it in a big pile, and I'd drive my Bobcat through it. No, I use my sawdust to build up my base. I use it to the entire state of Ohio drains onto my land, and I've been building up my work area, and I use my sawdust and my scraps. Fire blocks, wow. Yeah, firewood around, we have up here in Middlefield, Ohio, is like the second largest Amish settlement in the United States. And all of the Amish make and sell firewood. So it's just cheaper out here. And I buy firewood, bring it home. I usually have to resplit it and make more, to upsell it. Okay, so guys, we have 84 people that have signed in. We are at 8:14 p.m. Eastern time. Is there anyone here from Europe or Australia or anyone from out of the country? Please put it down there and let me know where you're from. Because, you get statistics on YouTube, and gee whiz, I must got like 50 different countries that are watching our videos. I mean, like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, all of the Balkan countries, Spain, Portugal, Australia. So that's all really cool. It's cool to know that the world is watching this little firewood company here from Ohio. Joe, you never knew how to start a gas chainsaw until 2011. That's awesome. But it's never too late to learn, huh? Yeah, you're almost in Canada, huh? Canada doesn't count. Uh-oh, we got someone from Belgium. Wilfried Terrens. All right. From Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, the Benelux area. Southern Ontario, yeah. What time is it in Australia? No clue. Is there someone here? Oh, okay, there is. Minaj Matthew. How you doing? That's awesome. You're from Sydney. So I almost had a chance to go to Sydney 3 years ago for the company that I was working for. We were going to be staying in Parramatta. Is that right? Parramatta. And but it fell through. I never got a chance to go. Yeah. Jay Wax, I saw your name on here before too. How you doing, bud? Yeah, Parramatta. Okay. I think that's like a affluent suburb or something of Sydney. A lot of retail malls and stuff that are there. Okay. All right. So listen, it's 84. We're coming up on 1 hour, and I didn't know it was going to go this long. I got some other ideas, for other live feeds. So I at least just wanted to get through this one here. The one thing I was most worried about was the sound, and obviously the weather. If it was going to be windy or if it was going to rain, and I had a contingency plan for everything. So, okay, I think I've got all my questions here. So I keep getting this question too. How much do you sell XYZ for? Or, how much do you sell that, a cord for or a bundle for? So I'm totally honest. I'll tell you everything you need to know. But sometimes with price, it's hard for me to answer because I don't want to violate my relationship with customers. Because there's a lot of variables in your prices at a restaurant. It's not the same price for every restaurant because every restaurant's different. Joe Ziegler, good heavens. So listen, I am just very appreciative, and it makes me feel guilty too, because I know, how hard it is to make a buck, and that really means a lot. So I really appreciate that you think of the channel enough, and the connection that we've made. So that makes me want to even try harder. And that's the same feeling I get too. Customers, when they're buying firewood off of you, they're not buying a candy bar. They're putting some serious money down, and I want to come through for them. I want to give them, quality stuff. I want to deliver it professionally, and I want them to feel better about themselves after I leave, than when I showed up. And seeing that, Joe, Mr. Ziegler, is, I really appreciate it. Gosh, I'm serious. I am just a simple guy from Ohio. My daughters they can't believe that, that this has happened. Oh my gosh. Because you know how kids are. They're the ones that always wanted to be a YouTube star. And I'm hardly a star, but I'm serious. I'm just a simple guy from Ohio that learned how to put together a website. And that's how, that's how the restaurant found me. Their volume was that high to where the money started coming in, and it helped me start getting more firewood, selling more. And really, I never told you this part of it. The very day that I was down there delivering my very first load to that restaurant, this guy walks up to me and he says, you sell firewood, huh? And I go, yeah. He goes, I own the pizza oven, up the road, and I hate our current supplier. Could you help us out? I said, sure, here's my card. So I got my second restaurant the very day that I got my first. Well, the very first day that I made my delivery to the first. So the one rule in firewood is with restaurants, if you have one restaurant and you're treating them well, it won't be your only. You're going to start getting a bunch of them signing up because they all talk, they all know each other, and they all share. And if you are performing, at a high level, you're going to be getting more phone calls. So I've picked up 3 more restaurants in the last 2 weeks, and I've been filming them for you too. So when the restaurants to me too aren't just the money, because some of them I sell the firewood to them cheaper than I would to a residence. But the way I see myself now is we're in a growth mode, and we are buying market share. And I have no problem selling firewood to someone cheaper than what I normally would, because I'm able to use that relationship to get more business. Boom, 1385. Aloha and mahalo. Right? He is my Hawaiian supporter of the channel. Boom, thanks so much. And Wilfried, you got to go to bed. It's 2 a.m. Hey, thanks so much for staying up. All right. Back 40. I got Aloha, Boom, and back 40. Great first live stream, my friend. Great hanging with you, OWB Woodhound. I'll always be your Woodhound. And thanks so much, Dan. You are a top shelf guy. I was going to have a little stick figure, a little girl to dance around whenever you, if you were to make a donation like that. Okay, so listen, guys, we're getting up on the bottom of the hour, 8:30. I had thought that this was just going to be a 15-minute thing because of I thought that if at least one person showed up, then I would be happy with it. And Dan Atkins said that he would be my moderator. So I figured, well, we'll have at least one. Okay. So then we had 2, but we're at 83 right now, and that's pretty cool. That's really cool. And what I did today, I woke up I was up very early. Someone this morning, when I posted a video, asked what I was doing up so early, but that's what you do. I go to bed early and I'm up early. I stack wood before the sun comes up because it's been too hot. You may have heard that throughout the summer about the heat that we have here in Ohio. And then I'm getting ready. I got a big bundle order. So I split me up a couple wheelbarrows of smalls, and I brought all the wood that I'm going to be wrapping into the barn because it's supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow. I just want it to be dry. And I'm going to be delivering a third of a cord and 40 bundles on the same load. So I'm going to have an oversized truckload. Yeah, my truck will be very overloaded. So I use half-ton trucks. I don't use big, heavy trucks. Where I'm different with firewood is when people are getting into firewood and they get some success, they start going big. They're buying bigger trucks and more equipment. I think that when I'm successful, I go small. So I had a chance to buy that F-250, and I'm so glad that I didn't buy it. Because, it was 14 miles to the gallon, 11 miles a gallon loaded, brakes, everything's so expensive on those versus a half ton. I went with a 1/2 ton. I am able to reach over the sides of the truck. It's easier for me to load and unload. And I'm serious, I can get over 20 miles a gallon in that truck all day. It's very good on gas. It's only 2-wheel drive, but I don't need a 4-wheel drive. I have one, but I don't need that one to be 4-wheel. So I got it about $10,000 cheaper. I got a heck of a deal on this. This is just a plain Jane work truck. It's got roll-up windows, but it's got air conditioning and a radio. So I'm good. Okay, so I tell you what, it's 8:25, and let's go ahead and sign off here, okay? I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want you to have a great Labor Day tomorrow. And don't forget to tell your neighbors hello. Call up a family member that you haven't spoken to in a while and tell them hello. And well, as the wood guy always says, let's just be nice and let's be neighborly. So I will be driving down to Pittsburgh to visit my daughter tomorrow she's away at college. And I really appreciate everyone here, guys. So I am humbled, and I'm also honored. And I wish I could meet all of you guys in person. Maybe that day will come if they're ever allowed to have the Paul Bunyan or another trade show again. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye, and I wish everyone well. Everyone have a great night. Bye-bye.